At the very beginning of March, we're going to be having a full moon in Virgo. This full moon that we're going to be having is a lunar eclipse in Virgo. This is huge. This is potent. This is red flags all the way up in the sky demons. This is all the things that you can imagine what is going on to wrap up the eclipse season that we've been in. This eclipse between the sun in Pisces and the moon in Virgo is exact at 5:47 a.m. Central Time and 6:47 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now you can adjust your time zone for whatever time zone that you live on to determine the accurate time for you. The moon is full. It's at the full state of being in the lunar cycle at 12 degrees and 55 minutes of Pisces in Virgo. So you want to look where you have 12 degrees of the mutable signs in your chart, because those areas of life will be affected in major ways during this time. So let's get into the astrology of this lunar eclipse in Virgo. I'm going to go through the themes, and then I'm going to break down some aspects to really add new flavors to this lunation. I just want to say I was listening to one of my podcast episodes, and it kind of cut off. Like I was listening to it, and the sound went away. If this happens with this one, I am not redoing it. It's getting published no matter what. I don't care what happens. Mercury Retrograde, so technical things can happen. And that's just going to be how it's going to be. Just it is what it is. So anyway. Now, during the portal of eclipse season, the veils between the worlds are especially thin. We can connect to the spiritual realms in a much deeper way. We're transcending down what's going on. Now, this eclipse happens 2 weeks after the new moon solar eclipse, the out of sign eclipse or the hybrid eclipse that occurred on the 17th of February of this year, or at least I think it's a hybrid eclipse. I think I saw an astrologer name the one on April 19th in 2023 in Aries, like a solar eclipse, new moon solar eclipse, hybrid eclipse, and I think that's right. I'm pretty certain that that's right. It's always good to go back and make sure, but I believe that is the term for that. So this new moon solar eclipse kind of heralded in the next sort of 18 months, which, July 26th is when, the scientific age really begins. It's the rebirth of science. We're really looking into science because the North Node is in Aquarius, and Aquarius rules science. The birth of astrology there's a renaissance with all these things that could happen with the North Node in Aquarius, because that is where we're meant to head. And Pluto is going to conjunct the North Node sometimes, so that's going to be huge. So that eclipse was about freedom and authenticity, being your true self, stepping away from the crowd and stepping into the window panes of your life and saying, I'm on this, I'm getting this all figured out in my life, and I'm living an authentic life, yet I'm open to others' opinions, yet I'm living an authentic life. So it's kind of Aquarius energy. There's a paradox to it. It's like I want to be an individual, yet I'm also very much concerned with the group. So we were setting intentions on these things very powerfully during that eclipse. Now, we do have a lot of Uranus energy going on. Uranus did go direct this year. Uranus in Taurus especially, since 2018, has been causing a lot of strange weather. From 2017 up to now, we've been transitioning from out of the age of Pisces and into the age of Aquarius, and you can look forward to my video on the age of Aquarius coming up on Sunday. Anyway, Uranus causes a lot of extreme weather with Uranus and Taurus, a lot of storms, a lot of floodgates, a lot of mudslides, a lot of, demons in the dirt, that kind of thing. Now, another thing that we have going on is Mercury is retrograde in Pisces, and one of the things with Mercury retrograde in Pisces is it's a very internal time. It's a good time to be creative, like going inside your house and being creative internally. Like you're not putting yourself out there externally in a creative way. You're not, forcing your creative talents and gifts externally. You are retreating into your own world. You're being introspective about what you want to create. Meaning it could be art, it could be music, it could be whatever the creativity is. It's a good time to do the internal things, to be creative, to finish up creative projects, to that have a spiritual tie into them, to restart those creative projects that you started in the past. Like this is a very Mercury retrograde flavor in Pisces. Now this eclipse, all eclipses, whoops, I thought that was a bug on my computer, but it was actually a notification. So all eclipses have either a south node or a north node connection to them. This eclipse has a south node connection to it because the south node is in Virgo. So south node eclipses, when the moon is closer to the south node than the north node, is releasing of old patterns. It is releasing the old patterns and ways of being from the past that don't serve us, all the maps, all the dits, all the reports of the things that we consider to be unethical and not serving us now will be released. This is a shedding of old skin. We're shedding our old ways of being as a collective, things that don't work for us anymore, things that are outdated, not serving us, and releasing them. Now, the South Node is in Virgo right now. And so the South Node in Virgo is really asking us to go within and examine what we want in our lives, to get on track with the sort of mission and purpose of our lives. To really look at, with this North Node and Pisces on the other end of it, what's our purpose and how are we going to step into that purpose? Now, a full lunar eclipse, when the sun and moon are full in a sign, is a major time of releasing things. It is a major release. If full moons are already a release, then lunar eclipses just amplify that. A release of a story that's going on for months, for probably years. It's like a major ending in a chapter of your life. That's what a lunar eclipse is. Full moons are times of culmination, and this is a major culmination point. This is a major time of endings. That's what full moons are. So they say full moons on steroids. Well, this is a full moon on steroids. I'm going to tell you that right now. Okay. And the thing is that eclipses ask us to release things from the past. Lunar eclipses ask us, South Node eclipses to ask us, especially lunar South Node eclipses like this one, to release things from the past so that we can evolve into what we're meant to be heading into this life in the individual chart, but also as a collective. What things need to be let go of, and where we need to travel no more, the direction that we need to head in order to evolve. And eclipses are fated. Like, I've heard astrologers say that it's not very good to set intentions during a solar eclipse because the energy is a little bit, like the spirit realm is interfering and you're not, and it's just not a clear energy for doing that or something like that. But it's just, eclipses are fated. Like, there's some things in life which, your destiny, like, you can control, you can reach towards, you can strive towards. But then there's other things that are just up to the universe, up to fate. They're just meant to happen when they will, and you can't control or change your fate. I know that an astrologer that I used to follow had a song called Falling in Love with Your Fate, and I'm not going to sing it because it's her song and I don't want to steal it from her. Basically to the tune of the Yellow Brick Road in The Wizard of Oz. But it's like falling in love with what you cannot change, accepting the things that you cannot change. So that is a note on fate. Next week, I'm going to be making a whole video on Jupiter direct in Cancer. And I'm going to talk a lot about the themes of Jupiter in Cancer because I didn't do a full official video for that. I did, more of a weekly thing. So I'm going to really, really discuss Jupiter in Cancer and it going direct and what that means in the retrograde in next week's transit video. That would be, that's going to be happening on March 10th, which is going to be the following Tuesday. So, all right, so we're looking at this eclipse and Jupiter stationing direct on March 10th after a long retrograde. Is what I'm observing here. So that's something also very, very important. Looking at the South Node, which happens around this time, so that's why I bring it up. Looking at the South Node in Virgo, this is dealing with, this is looking at, the South Node is Ketu, and the North Node is Rahu. The South Node is Ketu, the North Node is Rahu in Vedic astrology. And the nodes are hugely important in Vedic astrology. I cannot tell you. Vedic astrology is kind of a not so common, esoteric, kind of unorthodox kind of astrology that not too many people practice. Like, you go on YouTube and you don't really see any Vedic astrology channel except for like Joni Patrice's channel or something like that. But it's just everything is behind what our current Western astrology is in. So if the sun is in Scorpio in Western astrology, the sun is in Libra in Vedic. Like, you get the point. So the South Node on a collective level is what is falling away, what is weakening. And so in this case, it is anything to do with the servants in the world, the healthcare workers, because Virgo rules healthcare and all those very success areas of life. And all of the workers that work with logic, like use the left brain to do their work. They will be sacrificed, like they will fall away, and then the spiritual ones, the flowing ones, will rise with the light of this eclipse. Now, the South Node in Virgo is asking us to release, first of all, criticizing. That's one of the really, really strong Virgo traits, is judging others, being really critical, like being really nitpicky, criticizing others' flaws. Now, I just did a whole podcast episode the other day about comments. I'm telling you, if you're watching this video or any of my videos, this is an example of this. Like, instead of criticizing me in my videos, show compassion. This is Pisces quality, like show compassion. Whatever you write, show compassion. And to write something totally unrelated to what I'm saying is also not an example of showing compassion, because that's like you're from another world and you're not showing that you care and that you're not involved in the video and that you're not showing compassion. And on that podcast, in The Real Me podcast, which I opened up a couple of days ago because I wanted a podcast that was just focused on myself and my insights about life, I shared an example of a comment by this Christian Bible person who was writing, just giving an excerpt, like giving details about the excerpt, not explaining it or not explaining how it related to the video. I poked and prodded, I asked questions, they were stubborn, they didn't answer my questions fully. And so that's like not showing compassion, because that's not showing that you care and that you're interested in the video by sharing something totally unrelated. So that's also how you can show compassion, is relate to the situations that are going on and show compassion. Showing compassion is I'm relating to the situation. I'm involved in this situation, I'm focused on this situation, and this is how I can be compassionate in this situation. Well, there's a time and place to be compassionate towards certain things and not other things. This person said, why not share something so needed when I asked them? And, something can be needed. But as I've said, and I'm going to repeat myself in this podcast, it's not needed here. Like, it's not needed here. So give what is needed. Don't just, that is not compassionate. There's no compassion in you being in a situation and sharing something, and then somebody else shares something completely different, and then they claim, well, it's needed in this situation. That is actually not being compassionate, because that is not showing that you care about this situation, like you're involved in the situation. So I consider that comment to be not compassionate. So any comments that don't relate to the video, any critical or negative ones, all not compassionate. So avoid those comments. I'm not going to disassociate from certain people on my channel. This is my channel, and I'm going to respond to whoever I want to. So anyway, enough about that. The point is not blaming, not criticizing, showing compassion in your life. Looking at, we tend to look at, because Pisces, the differences between these energies is that Pisces is interconnected to the all. It's like the one, what is for the highest good of the all? What is for the one of the all? It's like we're all one. We're all connected. Virgo, on the other hand, is the opposite. It's separate. It couldn't be more separate. Like, we are like the whole thing about Newton's law and how separate we are and how that changed the world and how we thought of the world, and all the spirituality just went away in the Enlightenment and all those things like that. Like how we are separate pieces of matter, separate pieces of logic and human beings that survive and thrive on Earth, and how that can be detrimental but also beneficial, and there's two sides to it. There's both sides to it. So while we are separate matter, and while there is separation to things, and while there's differences in things, like the desk is separate from your hand, for instance, there is interconnectedness. So like we're separate but connected, and that is the wave of Aquarius. The solar eclipse in Aquarius kind of reflects this, because the glove of Aquarius is a wave with a hole in the middle, representing we are connected yet. See the separation? So both and here. And Pisces is both and. Virgo is the binary either or energy. Pisces is all about spontaneity, like following the calls of your intuition. It runs on the vibes that you feel in the moment. Virgo is like, I gotta have a plan, I gotta have a structure, I gotta have a schedule, otherwise I'll lose my mind. Like, I won't be able to live clearly, and I will not be able to think clearly with Virgo energy. So it needs a structure to survive. Like, with Saturn and Virgo, it's like you need it to survive. They can't, Saturn and Virgo people cannot handle it. They cannot stand it if there is not a structure. Like, there has to be a schedule, otherwise they just cannot operate very well. And they're learning to lean into the Pisces aspect of it, where the scheduling and the plans and the list and the plan, the backup plan for the backup plan doesn't work. And they have to learn to relax into life and let go of the structure and the schedule and lean to the flow of life. And that's what we're being invited to tap into as a collective. Now, I've already talked about this on that Jupiter and Virgo live stream, and if you like this video, I'm going to recommend to you that Jupiter and Virgo video because there's a lot of overlap in what I'm saying here to Jupiter and Virgo because the themes are similar. I put my blood, sweat, and tears into that. I put so much hard work into delivering, I think, the most authentic, deep, real thing. And if you haven't seen that video, I'm imploring you to go see that video because it is so rich with insight. And I cannot say enough good things about it. One of the things that I made very, very clear is that in my belief, perfectionism is negative. Improvement is positive. And we have to separate these two things out. Improvement is I'm seeing the flaws and I'm doing something to improve this, to make it better with compassion. There is no perfect. Like there is no end to life. You're always learning and growing in life. Like it's just an end. If there was an end to things, then there wouldn't be any more fulfillment in that. So there's improvement where we can notice the flaws and make things better. That's all very valid. Perfectionism, though, is critical. It's an obsessive, nitpicky, unsettled, uncomfortable energy that we use to nitpick and judge ourselves and become very, very critical. And well, we're so obsessed with making things perfect that we just exhaust it to death. We exhaust the fun of it, the joy of it, until it's just meaningless to us. And that's what happens. Kind of like Maddie in Dance Moms, when she was a perfectionist with the things, it didn't really show that very much because of all the other drama going on in that show. But Maddie was claimed to be a perfectionist. And it's a very, very powerful Virgo lesson when it comes to perfectionism. Yes, there is something that we can strive toward, but we don't have to be so critical and so obsessive about it to the point where we are being really mean to ourselves and not true to ourselves. Another really, really big theme with Virgo energy is getting stuck in the small details, in the really, really tiny details, and not expanding out of the details. Like Virgo can get stuck in the little things. It's not trying new things. It's not exploring other things. It limits its potential because of this. It does not see the bigger outlook. It does not zoom out and see the forest for the trees. It doesn't zoom out and say, okay, I'm looking at this speck on the counter, when really zooming out, the whole counter is clean. Just this one little speck. Like I'm getting so caught up in the speck, in the speck, but what about the rest of the counter? Like the counter looks clean. Like it's that kind of thing like that. Like it can be very OCD, obsessive. Now, on the other hand, we are leaning towards the North Node in Pisces during this time. I didn't really make a formal video discussing this. I will be doing a video discussing our podcast discussing the South Node in Leo, the North Node in Aquarius. There's a lot to discuss with that, and I really want to delve deep into those themes when we get to mid-July. July is a busy, jam-packed month. Outer planets are making all kinds of aspects, and I will not probably be able to get to them all. July is going to be crazy. July is going to be wild, so be prepared. So the North Node in Pisces. One of the lessons is that Virgo likes things to stay the same. It likes things to be routine. The point of a routine is to have things be the same in all those things. Point is, life doesn't operate on routines. You can be so in your, egoic, in a small little world, with your routines. But change is the only constant in life. Change is the only certainty in life. Change is permanent. It's never going away. The North Node in Pisces says surrender to change because you can't control it. And so if we can lean into letting go of the structure and the fixity, we can lean into flowing and allowing change to happen. Another really, really huge lesson that we're being invited to step into here is trust in the divine, trust in the universe. Fred is called it, Baron Reed calls it source, whatever you name it. Trust in the universe. To have faith that things will always work out when they are meant to, not try to control or force the outcomes, because that's Virgo energy. Pisces energy is surrendering to the universe and saying, hey, I'm open to whatever the universe gives me, and I trust that things are going to work out in the right way at the right time. I'm going to be in the right place at the right time, divine timing. And it's also compassion. It's also, I was reading about this, and there's a saying called love thy neighbor. And we're all here to help each other. Like, love thy neighbor is like helping each other and being there for each other, having each other back, others back, and be supportive of each other. Reaching across the aisle and holding arms out. Like, really, really holding that out. We need to have self-love. Like there's not enough of this where we judge ourselves, where we do all this to help. Self-help is very, very important. It's a good time to go introspective with that. But also other help, like helping others and serving others, like, self-help, for both ends of the spectrum. But we need to balance the more physical health, Virgo, with the spiritual soul health, Pisces. Forgiveness is a very, very powerful Pisces lesson. Forgiving all our regrets from the past, all of our things that we feel so guilty about, that we're so stuck in, especially have a lot of Taurus or fixed energy in our chart, and forgiving that, and through that process, we have self-love. Through forgiveness, we have self-love. And, we need forgiveness. We need to shut out the world who judges us for things, and we need to be reconditioned into forgiveness, into loving ourselves, into saying, hey, we did what was best for us at the time, that we thought was right at the time of who we were back then, and we have to accept it, and we have to have compassion for it, because we can't go back and change it. And it is easier said than done. I realize that, because for the past 2 years, I was just all in the regrets of things. I was really, really depressed about the things that I felt ruined my sense of purity, my sense of abundance, and feeling good about life. Not like I hurt or did negative or wrong things. I want to admit this, and I want to be raw with you. I actually wished that I did bad and mean things to people during that time, because I was so sucked into how depressed I felt, that I was like, I wish I hurt somebody, or, and that's how I felt. Like, I hope that's not insensitive or anything, but that's genuinely how I felt, and that's what I wish, because at least it wouldn't ruin the things that I enjoy for my entertainment. And that was what the whole guilt was based around, is in purifying things that were meant for my entertainment. I have Venus and Gemini, things that stimulate me, and my Venus and Mars were just shut down during those years. Like, my Gemini energy was just shut. And then now it's opened up again. And now the doors are opening up again for me in that way. So, because through that process and through this fresh beginning of 2026, I've learned to forgive myself over time, over a long period of time. It won't happen instantly, it won't happen overnight, but the alleviation of that will happen over time. So you have to be patient with forgiveness. It's not an overnight process. Also, sympathy, like just being kind and just doing what is right and what is kind to others. Thy goodwill will be unto you, something like that. And going along with that one person that was Bible, like, I'm not totally rejecting the Bible and God. I am a Christian. I am totally in agreement with that. It's just you didn't explain it, how it relates to the video that I was doing specifically, and it was random, and so I'm shutting that down. But that's it. I have nothing against Christianity or the Bible or anything of that nature. It just didn't belong in the comments section if you're not going to tie the two pieces together. Like, it's okay if you want to bring other references in it, as long as you explain what those references mean and how they relate to what I was talking about. That's totally fine. I want you to be able to comment things that are, open-ended like that. Another thing that we're being invited to lean into is opening up our imagination. Like, opening up the imagination. Pisces is the imagination. Virgo is not the imagination. There was one video that I did not like about Jupiter and Virgo, but he was, honest, and he was sincere, and he was truthful about Virgo being critical and very much logical and functional. Pisces is very much about the creative right brain, using your imagination. Imagination and the practical and the mundane, those are like opposite. Those don't go together, yet we can blend the two together and bring imagination into the mundane. So being open to all of these limitless possibilities, like especially Jupiter in Pisces, we had the Jupiter-Neptune conjunction April 12th, which is very, very Piscean of 2022. I have a live stream of that I did on my original channel that you can check out, where the big thing with that is, like, everything is possible. There's no limits to it. Like, everything is possible. In Virgo, there are limits, there are boundaries, you need to follow these rules. In Pisces, there's no limits, and you need both of these energies to live a balanced and healthy life. It's not one or the other. The beautiful thing about life as opposed to AI is that life versus AI is perfect. The writing of AI is perfect. What it creates is perfect because it's not human. It's done by a computer, so of course it's going to be just perfect, just so. And even there's imperfections in that. But the point of beauty is that it is imperfect. What we create in terms of art forms and the beauty of nature and all that life is the perfect imperfections of those life. There is no perfect. We can redefine perfect. We need to, we can say perfect, but when we say perfect, it sounds like, oh, it's there's no beauty to it, there's no soul to it. But when we say perfectly imperfect, that's easier to understand. That's like saying, like, there's beauty in the imperfections that make up the authenticity and the realistic aspects of life that make us human, that make life human, that make things intellectually attractive, that make life worth living. If things were perfect, life would not be worth living. I can tell you that right here and right now. I'm not going to sing the song. Another lesson of Pisces energy is sometimes we have to get lost to find ourselves. And immediately when I heard about that, I was like, Moana 2, all the way. Because what is Moana 2? She was seeking out new waters, new voyages to bring people together, and she was a wayfinder, and she thought that wayfinders needed to know the way, but then somebody taught her the point of being a wayfinder is not knowing the way, but then carving out the way for other wayfinders. So the point is that you have to get lost in order to find your way. Well, you have to step into the unknown in order to find the truth. Kind of like Frozen 2, how she stepped into the unknown, and you can sing the song to the top of your lungs until your voice is hoarse. Like, stepping into the unknown to really find the truth and find yourself. And that's what Moana and Frozen 2 have in common. Like, there's a lot of overlap between not so much the first Frozen 2, but definitely first Frozen, but Frozen 2, Moana 1 and 2, especially Moana 2, to find the truth and get lost. So sometimes we have to get lost inside ourselves and explore the uncharted territories of the aspects of ourselves that we didn't explore yet, to find who we truly are, to discover all these gems and all these pieces of ourselves that we didn't know were there, and then discovering ourselves. Another lesson of the North Node in Pisces, of this Pisces eclipse, and I'm talking about the North Node and South Node in Pisces, but I'm really talking about the energies of this eclipse. Another lesson is trusting our intuition, trusting the illogical part of us, trusting our inner guidance system. Intuition does not run on logic. It's an inner guidance system where it's just a feeling, like this, like an instant. Go there, do this, meet this person. And oftentimes we feel our intuition, but we dismiss it because it doesn't make sense in the logical brain. Like, no, that doesn't make sense. Let's dismiss it. And it's so subtle, like it doesn't knock you out in order to follow it. And then what do we do when sometimes we have an intuitive hit and we follow? Like sometimes they can be aligned, sometimes they can be misaligned. Sometimes when we miss our intuition, what do we feel? Regret, because it's like I knew I should have trusted my intuition. Like I had a feeling and I knew I should have trusted it. Like that's the kind of thing like that. Intuition is like your guardian angel inside yourself. It's like your higher self in your body. Like your higher self is not some external thing outside of you. It's like within you. Your intuition is within you, and it is incredible. Like Sonia Shikhan has all these videos and free resources and books and oracle decks based off of intuition. And now, during this whole Pisces season and Mercury Retrograde in Pisces, excellent time to study intuition. Excellent time. Should deliver you to the right place at the right time. Now, with eclipses, we are holding space for ourselves and others. And actually, right here on the spot, I'm going to be totally real and authentic. I'm going to look up the definition of holding space, because I've used the term, I've seen the term thrown around on Zoom meeting conversations, spirituality. Thank you, AI, for giving me the explanation of holding space. It is the act of creating a safe, non-judgmental, and compassionate container for someone to express emotions and experiences without trying to fix, manage, or judge them. That's what it means, and that confirms everything. There's no explanation involved with that. So being compassionate with ourselves, being compassionate with others. So right there, it's like nothing new. It's like what I already talked about. Eclipses illuminate things. They illuminate what we cannot see, bringing things to light so that we can see them in our conscious reality. They close chapters. What is the old narratives and old stories that we've told ourselves with our South Node in Virgo? And I'm going to get into that a little bit later. This eclipse is about letting go of those old narratives and moving into the narrative that is good for us or healthy for us with the Northern Pisces. It's a good idea to refine your skills. Like, look at the skills that you need to develop that serve your spiritual evolution, and refining those skills. It's one of the positive sides of Virgo energy, to make your skills more truthful to you. Like, not skills you have to conform to, like, oh, this society asked you to, perfect these skills and it doesn't feel true for you. Do the skills, perfect the skills that you want to do that feel truthful to you as an individual. This is kind of putting in the dirt, putting in the plow for, putting in the seeds for Aries season. Wait till Aries season. It's like the cannon's going to go off. 2026 is a fresh start. Aries season is just going to really, really confirm that very much so. Aries season is like the spark of new life, the fresh beginning. And so we're doing the reflection. We're in the soup of reflection and contemplation now, so that when Aries season comes, we can officially begin. So Virgo is I gotta be in control of this. I gotta be in the driver's seat. I gotta be in control of every aspect of everybody's life, micromanaging, in control of every aspect of the physical reality. Like with Saturn and Virgo, it's like they imagine like a clock, and how clock can have a structure and limiting. And Saturn and Virgo people work themselves to their detriment, where they overwork themselves, their mind is busy, they don't allow themselves to relax, to trust, to lean into flow, to just be, and not have to do all the time. Like, we are human beings, we're not human doings. And that is a profound lesson that Northern and Pisces people can learn, is that we are human beings. We're not meant to produce and do and work so hard and do all of that. And we're meant to let go and trust the divine. The other thing is, Saturn and Virgo, we're looking at all our roles that we've been defined as. And we look at our validation and our self-worth based on those roles that society wants us to play. The doctor, the social worker, the cashier, the store clerk, the governor, the leader of this country, the president, like all these roles. And while they do make us feel good on the egoic level sometimes, they can be very, very limiting. Like these roles that we define of ourselves can limit us and hold us back from what if we feel differently? What if we want to go in a different direction? And so, stepping away from these roles and defining, you know what? This role doesn't define me. I am who I am, regardless of this role, and darn it, I'm going to have self-worth for myself. Now, one of the, I'm going to go back here, an old narrative that we need to let go of is this, I'm not good enough. Oh my gosh, this is the hallmark of the shadow of Virgo energy, is I'm not good enough. You look in the mirror, what do you see? All the pimples on your face, all the the hairs that were not cut, all the wrinkles on your skirt, all the, the clothes that are not put, or your habits. Like, I didn't do this the right way. I didn't, I'm not good enough. I'm not enough. So we have to let go of this. We need to let go and surrender to, letting go and surrender is scary. It is scary for us to do right now with the Saturn and Virgo. Like, it is so scary. It's like a person I was watching had a metaphor, like you have people in the water, you're up at a cliff, and they're shouting, "Hey, come on in, the water's fine." And you're like, I don't have I don't feel secure about this. I didn't plan this out. There's no logic to this. It is not safe to do this, but they're saying, come on in, just take a chance. Like, your intuition is going to propel you towards risk if you go in that direction, because it feels right. Like, sometimes it feels right to take risks. Sometimes it feels right to do what is familiar. And I want to talk about what feels right, because there's a paradox to this. Does it feel right because it's healthy for you, because it's good for you, that will help you evolve? Or does it feel right because you're always used to doing it? It feels so familiar that it just feels so, natural for you to do. Like separate. What you have to discern. I know it's confusing, but you have to discern and separate those out. So letting go and surrendering to what is unsafe, is not, they need to be in control of reality. Like, they need to be in control of every aspect of reality. It drives them crazy. And if they can stop being, if we can stop being so in control of every single part of our reality and let go and trust in the higher plan, we can find peace. Now, the nodes moved into Pisces and Virgo January 11th, 2025. And from that point to now, when the nodes first entered, we have been learning about these lessons very, very strongly. Enoughness, feeling enough. Another lesson we've learned is trusting in meaningful coincidences, like trusting in the universe, and the universe is going to present you with these meaningful coincidences. Like seeing a bird outside your window, and sending you a sign of peace, or sending you this lemon truck when you just open a lemon, like you're meant to eat lemon drops, or sending you a piece of paper which shows you're meant to write a story now. Like, these, or Colette Baron Reed's example of this, which I think is so amazing. Colette Baron Reed, you can follow her on social media to understand her story. She was buying a house, and she considered dragonflies to be a symbol of, like, good luck, I think. And so she was buying a house, and then all of a sudden this big dragonfly came up. And it was like she just screamed and laughed. It was like, this is the house. Like, this is, and it's been happening before in her life. But, that was a synchronicity for her. Now, getting into some more things about this. What do we have going on? We have 5 planets in Pisces. A lot of Pisces in the sky. We have Sun, Mercury, Venus, Mars, the North Node. The Sun is consciousness. Mercury is communication. Venus is what we love and value in Pisces. So we're very, very attracted to arts and things like that. Mars is how we're trusting our intuition and going in that direction. The North Node is where we're meant to head. So all these planets in Pisces. Another aspect of this is taking the abstract beauty in our life. What is abstract? Because Pisces is the other world. Pisces is the abstract, the ethereal space, the other realms. Beauty from another world, like classical music can sort of take us to other worlds when we listen to it. Like classical music can help ground us, calm us, but it can also take us to other worlds. Classical music is a Pisces ruled thing because it's like higher vibration music, not low level, metal. Music is like higher vibration. So taking the abstract beauty, because Pisces at best can channel the abstract beauty, the things from the other worlds, and bring it down to reality. It's amazing that we have people like that. They can take what is in their imagination and show us that in our reality. Like, that's amazing. That really, really is just incredible. There is a deepening and strengthening of self in a gentle, peaceful way. So, a note on this is we're strengthening ourselves, and I sang about this. If you want to go listen to it, I produced a song called "A Song for You," and it was basically a song for my viewers. And it was basically saying about comments like, "I will not allow you to drain me. I will not allow you to make me feel very negative or judge me, or I will not take you personally. I will not let you affect me or impact me in ways that would compromise what I want to produce." That's the message of the song. It would not take away my authenticity and my true note. That's the message of what I was trying to express. Maybe I'll link it or something like that. Maybe you can check it out on my channel if you would wish to, because I would highly encourage you to go listen to that song, because I think it's very, very well done. So, there's something called living from the inside out on the outside in. And the difference is living on the outside out is, oh, I hear about this fire in Florida. Oh, I feel so depressed. Oh, this person was mean to me. Oh, I feel so bad at myself. I'm not so good enough. This person fat shamed me. Oh, I'm fat. Oh, I'm not worthy enough. Whereas, inside from the inside out, it's like, you know what? I'm good. I did a good job today. I'm healthy. I'm well. I'm safe. I'm loved. I'm peace. Like that is living from the inside out, as opposed to the outside in. Like, these are different energies. And thank you, Pam Gregory. I first heard the term from that astrologer, about living from the inside out. So thank you for introducing me to that, because I will live my life like that. I will not live from the outside in. I will live from the inside out 100% as much as I can do. Like, I will not allow the outside to compromise my personal autonomy because of my Taurus North Node, Aries Sun, energies in my chart. Yeah. So you can feel the difference between those energies. So I just wanted to, so you can tell that, living from the outside in is very external. Living from the inside in is like peaceful, grounded power. Like, it doesn't have to be like fighting and aggressive. It's peaceful. The aggressive and can be reactive, which is actually living from the outside in, because you're becoming aggressive because of the outside. Living from the inside out is not aggressive. It can be, assertive probably, but it's not aggressive. I want to make that very, very clear. And so one of the things about people with the Pisces North Node, for example, and one of the things that we are asked to develop is getting away from people, like getting away from our mundane responsibilities and prioritizing our peace. Like, our peace during these 18 months is probably the most important thing. Like, our peace of being, our spiritual peace is so important. And the North Node in Pisces has been asking us to prioritize that with self-worth combined with that. This is a time of reflection and contemplation, as I've said before. And anything that interferes with what brings your soul peace has to fall away. So the energies could be turbulent around this time, so get grounded. Okay, now getting into the aspects. It's not just this lunar eclipse. We have to talk about the planetary conversations that are going on in the sky here. Okay. So the very, very first thing that we have going on is the Sun trine Jupiter. Now, what I used to do with these aspects is I used to go into the superficial ways, like this is good for money and, wealth and finance, and you want to put on good clothes. Like, it was obvious I was taking it from another place. Like, I want to try not to do that. I want to put more meaning in things that are actually meaningful and insight, as opposed to the superficial information. Like that whole superficial astrology thing, I am not a fan of that at all. That is not real astrology, in my opinion. That is not meant to be. Astrologers, certain astrologers out there that I used to follow are just so superficial and so not deep and not real. And I want them to hear this and change their tune. So the Sun trine Jupiter, which is actually exact 2 days after this eclipse, on the 5th. This brings about good news. Like the Sun trine Jupiter is like the Sun is our ego, what we want to put out into the world, and Jupiter is good news and optimism. Like this brings us good news. This is a little bit of a faith booster. Like this is encouraging us to look at the faith in life, be more optimistic, have more faith. Like if we've been so down on ourselves, so in the victimhood of Virgo, this Sun in Pisces, Jupiter in Cancer trine is asking us to have faith in life, to have faith that things are going to work out. So this just adds to what I was talking about. The other thing is Jupiter is in Cancer. Jupiter in Cancer is about coming home inside yourself, the home inside your body, the home inside your inner temple, basically. So examine, do you feel nurtured and warm inside yourself? Or do you not feel that? So it's about coming home to feeling nurtured and warm inside of you. Now, another thing with this is examining your beliefs. Examining what you believe is another really theme with this. What beliefs hold you back in your life? Like, I am not pretty enough, or I am not capable of doing this, or I think this way and it's very, very narrow-minded. When actually I believe in myself, I can achieve this, I can do this, I have confidence in myself. Those are not limiting beliefs. So examining those is very, very important this time. The other thing is connecting with others. It's a hallmark of this aspect, but connecting in a spiritual way with others. Connecting spiritually, because Jupiter is spirituality. So connecting, reaching out in those kind of ways with others. Rising above the fray, healthy detachment, rising above the mundane practical things and getting an eagle's perch, getting peace and getting a more observational outlook on the mundane practical reality. Now this gives you the faith and this gives you the hope to really be willing to say, you know what, I'm going to put myself out there. Like how I'm doing with social media. I'm going to put myself out there and make myself seen and heard, but I'm going to do it with compassion. I'm going to do it with sensitivity and warmth and emotion. And this is asking us to be open to receive the bounty of what the universe has to give us. Are we closed down? And I think that the subtitle that I'm going to name next week's transit video, is opening your door wide open, because Jupiter direct is like we're done with the reflection, but now we're moving into moving forward. So I think I'm going to title it that. I'm thinking, but opening to receive the bounty of the universe's gifts. The blessings from the universe. Jupiter is like, the universe has a lot of blessings. And the other thing is, with going back to what I was saying about beliefs, how do you limit yourself? Like, how can you take risks or stretch yourself beyond your limitations? That's also something to consider. Now, we have to talk about kind of the obvious aspect with this lunation, and that is the moon opposing Rahu, or the North Node. So the differences with the South Node is your talents, your gifts, your abilities, what you came in with in an individual chart. I've kind of already explained that already, and you kind of got the picture of that, so I'm going to move on from that. But this is all about really feeling psychically sensitive. Like, I have this vision of when we become so psychically tuned in that it's like a Walmart. I had this vision back in 2022. Like, a Walmart where we're all living in this Walmart and there's ice boxes, and anyone who comes in that has a low vibration gets put in those ice boxes and gets locked away until their vibration rises, potentially, until they can come out of the ice boxes, and everyone is very sensitive to each other, and the energies are very sensitive. Everybody is an empath in that Walmart. Grounding your energy, grounding your psychic energy, because sometimes it can be too much. Sometimes we can get too caught up in the psychic and all of that, where we need to bring it down to reality. And I think that Lee Harris, who is a channeler, he does monthly, energy updates. He has beautiful music, which is spirituality, a very soulful music. He talks about this quite a bit because he is a sensitive. He is an empath. So if you can check out his videos and what his offerings over there. Another part of this is expressing who you are in conflict, like being truthful, having integrity, like not being aggressive or whatever, but having integrity with conflict, like expressing your true note, expressing your truth in conflict. Another thing with this, because oppositions are difficult aspects in astrology, is feeling in solitude, like feeling really, really in isolation, like not feeling supported by others. And so that's how we can feel, like feeling very, very not so supported with others, and in that kind of solitude-like place. When it comes to we feeling where we have to do it on our own, we don't have any help, and that's not true. We do have help. There are resources out there to help you with this. There are, people can help you with this, and that's so refreshing to know. And I just want to bring up, when I see comments sometimes, like I see, feel seen and heard and understood, it's like people who live within the internet, yet they're real people writing on the internet, having a computer with their physical hands writing comments. Now, I want to bring up somebody else who has another note to us, more darker, more scorpionic approach to spirituality, Teal Swan. Very controversial. There's a whole documentary made on Teal Swan called The Deep End. It was deleted from Hulu for good reason. It totally misinterpreted the entire truth about Teal Swan and her principles and what she does. And she has a whole series of video on why the documentary is not realistic. And she absolutely deserved to make that public and to speak her truth about that, because that was a documentary about her that was not true. It painted her as this cult leader, as this, very authoritarian, very, very intense, leader who was insensitive and so much in the shadow that lacked gentleness and compassion. And if you really know Till, she has the truth about her. She does have a kind of spark about her that is not shadow work all the way. With her shadow work, like all into the shadow work. She is the person to go to if you're looking for integration in shadow work. Because She's all about facing the hard truths that we don't want to deal with. An expert on doing that and living that. And so this could be about practices like the completion process, and she's introduced several practices that are very, very small and only a select group of people study. And you can look to her video resources in spirituality from a more real, authentic version that is not sugarcoating the truth. Like, she does not put sugar on, whatever food that she's trying to serve. Like, she doesn't sugarcoat things. That if you want a real, authentic, truthful version of it, like somebody tell you straight and honest, go to Teal Swan. This is about not being so defensive, like being vulnerable, opening up our hearts, really letting others in. Sometimes we can be so shut others out that we forget to let others in and be vulnerable, like really, really feel what our feelings is and allow ourselves to feel those feelings and express those feelings. Another thing here, I have a lot written down on this, is there's actually something else which I am going to get to that I want to talk about. Responding rather than reacting. Reacting is so egoic, it's so 3D, it's so impulsive. Like, somebody says something, immediate first reaction. But as opposed to, I'm listening to this, I'm thinking about this, I'm considering it, and then I'm responding. Like, responding is when you take the information, integrate it, and then respond. React is like an immediate thing. Like, this is my reaction. Like, it's going to be irrational. It's going to be angry and wild. And especially during this full moon, we have these realizations and these things that we want to get out of us, but these things are irrational during full moons. And so responding rather than reacting is important for any full moon because we're more emotional during these times, but especially not during this time. Now, your relationships are very, very important. Your relationships can help you grow and transform into the best version of yourself. Okay, so as I was saying, looking at the relationships of the benefits of how they can help you grow and transform into the best version of yourself. Now, another thing is projection. Like, we take out our feelings and beliefs on things onto others, and we project them in multiple ways. And we all do it no matter how advanced we are. We need to be very, very aware of when we are projecting so that we can have the awareness to say, I'm projecting again, I need to stop, I need to apologize, I need to go back and deal with this internally so that I have clarity, so that I have peace, so that I can talk to this person in a way that is considerate towards them instead of taking out, it's like you're taking out your anger on somebody else. Like, that is projecting. That is projecting. And it's natural for us humans to do when we feel so angry about something and we want to get it out, and then we take it out on somebody else because we're not in that, right situation. We have to express it and let it out. Like, that's projection. Another thing is betrayal. Like people in relationships leaving you astray, not being trustworthy or loyal to you in relationships, and losing your trust and betraying your trust. Through this. Betrayal is very, very huge with this. And looking deep into your subconscious about what you need to not project. And the final aspect that I just want to mention, that I want to discuss a little bit, is Venus in the sign of Pisces at towards 26, 27 degrees of Pisces, sextiling Uranus at 27 degrees of Taurus. So Venus-Uranus aspect and positive aspects is like, where are you like humdrum and low down? Where do you need to, where are you just going along, you feel lifeless, like I felt lifeless the past 2 years, Where do you need to spark things up again? What do you need to do to make yourself feel more alive again, more fun again? Bring fun into your life, bring zest to your life, bring excitement to your life. Specifically, your social life. And being around the ones who are wanting to be individual, who want to break away from the crowd, who are not afraid to take risks. Like being willing to be around those who are not afraid to take the risks. And so both partners have to be willing to change with each other. That's another thing. Is that, if we have just one partner doing all the changing and doing all the liberation and all the boxing and all the latums, then the other person is not changing and they're stuck in the high fields. So both partners have to be willing to change and grow with each other, because that is what a relationship is. It's mutual love where you're growing and changing and you're learning from each other and you're teaching each other at the same time. That's a true relationship. So learning what the other doesn't know and teaching what the other doesn't know. Maybe you met somebody and they just, like maybe you know somebody in your life and there's just this sense that you get that there's you really consider how this person has an otherworldly connection, or how this aspect of connection has this otherworldly connection. You may feel very inclined to create art based off around that about those people. Mercury is retrograde, so you're going to probably encounter people from the past. And these people with this aspect are going to stir things up inside of you. They're going to stir the pot. And they're going to ask you, hey, what is where you're going in your life? What is the status quo of your life? Your job at the shoe factory, or your relationship with this Asian woman, or your life in Korea, or, whatever it is. Do you like the direction that you're going in? Or do you need to change that direction? Do you need to make it more true for you? There are aspects of relationships that are just unconventional, like the unique, quirky aspects of relationship. It's a good idea to really pay attention to that now. Looking at the social responsibilities, going back to roles that do not serve us, like our social responsibilities or roles and what is true and not true for us. And it's good to, really consider the groups in society today and if you can, put yourself in a group. But how can you as an individual, let's say, serve the collective? And what kind of people can you put yourself in that are your tribe, that are doing something that's not maybe doing something that is going to be done out there, but doing something very Aquarian-like, doing something very, unconventional. So I believe I didn't exhaust it to death. I don't feel like that because I have a limit and boundary of these things. I hope that you enjoyed this very long, in-depth podcast about the energies of this lunar eclipse in Virgo. I hope that it was not too overwhelming. Stay tuned for tomorrow's podcast, or tomorrow's video, one or the other, on Jupiter in the sign of Libra. So I'm thinking of doing a presentation on Google Slides for that, because I have only done one, and maybe I'll change it up a little bit. So maybe I'll do a video presentation for that, and I will be at my grandparents' house probably doing that for that, just to kind of add variety and, like I said, spice things up a little bit. So anyway, bye for now.